लाई हुई है कोई मतलब गोली नार मार रहा है इस तरह मतलब एक जुल्म होया है मतलब किसी ਨੂੰ गले 'ਚ टायर पा के ते मारिया गया है किसी ते पेट्रोल छिड़क के मारिया गया है.
The men's story is made worse by the fact that they allege that the riots were no disorganised rampage.
जो पुलिस सी ਉਹਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਧਮਕਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਓ नहीं तो फिर ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਾਂਗੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ पर चला गया. उस दिन फिर उन्होंने गुरुद्वारा साड़िया सब तो पहले गुरुद्वारे साड़ के पर जिस तरह पता लगे भाई घर में असीं वड़ गए हाँ तो फिर उन्होंने अपने बंदे छड़ देते किसी हर घर से कि 100 किसी 200 किसी 50 बंदा
समझे ना असीं किस तरह कपड़े पा के जनानियां दे कपड़े पा के ते असीं किसी तरह भी जनानियां सानू लुका के ते अपने घरों कढ़ता ते असीं बाहर चले गए. उस तो बाद जो कुछ होया उन्हां बीबियां नाल विधवावां नाल जिस टाइम विधवा प्रेजेंट ने उन्हां नाल सारी अखां नाल उन्होंने वेखिया.
These three men had an extraordinary escape. It's estimated that about 3,000 Sikhs were killed in Delhi alone. 50,000 fled the city. It's chilling to think that the violence may have been made worse by those that should have protected them. The human cost of the barbarity can be found in these block of flats. Here, women who lost husbands and sons were resettled in what's become known as the Widows' Colony. For them, what they saw just over 25 years ago is still raw and deeply painful.
हम तो दोषी नहीं हुए ना पर गरीब मार कर दी 3 बेटे मार दिए बड़ा मार दिया पोता मर गया हमारे घर में मरते तो ना गया ना.
आप बताएं आपके परिवार पर क्या बीती गई क्या हुआ था?
परिवार में 4 लड़के 4 लड़कों को मेरे को जला दिया. मट्टी का तेल दुनिया के कमरे में निकलते रहे वो घेर घेर के जलाते रहे. टायर भी लगा दिया बीच में दोनों के और आग लगा दी. हाय मम्मी हाय पापा हाय मम्मी हाय पापा कर रहे और हम उधर रो रहे.
आपने देखा अपनी
आंखों से देखा ये मेरा लड़का मुंडा बड़ा सोटी से मारा लाठी से ऐसा सो रहा लड़का हमारा.
दिन भर दिन आपकी जिंदगी आसान होती है कि नहीं?
जब
हम हमारा अंतकाल होएगा ना ये दुख तो तभी भूलने वाला बेटा जिंदगी में तो भूलने वाला ही नहीं.
ये तो नहीं भूल सकते.
I didn't realise it was going to get tougher this journey. Talking to families who have lost several generations, sons, husbands, grandfathers, and all in the name of religion, it makes me feel sick to the stomach. I was just sitting there thinking, for me personally, my dad is my rock. I can't imagine my life without a father figure, without my dad. I can't imagine my life without my dad. And they've lost all their male figures in their family, and that's really hit me more than anything.
The tragic events of 1984 haven't been forgotten in Delhi. I've been told of a simple ceremony taking place that marks the year in a practical and moving way.
Hello, Sat Shri Akal.
Harvinder Fulkar is a lawyer who's devoted most of his career to campaigning for justice for those who've lost relatives in the riots. He's behind a scheme to plant 25,000 trees right across Delhi.
This is in memory of those who were killed in 1984, and so that their memory goes into the history. They will be remembered for the 100 years when these trees survive and they grow up.
Feels like a very positive thing that we're doing here.
Harvinder then invited me to plant a tree. I knew in whose memory I wanted to dedicate it.
Well, thanks for letting me do this, because I'm doing this for Mahinder Kaur, whose husband was killed on a train, and all the other victims that I've met along this journey, really, for their strength. Put a special mark on this so that I recognise this when I come back. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Oh, you're most welcome.
One One group had tried to take refuge in their temple. One group had tried to take refuge in their temple. It was set on fire, their bodies dumped in a ditch.
I have saved my friend's life. I'm proud of me.
Although Harvinders fight for justice and a proper inquiry into the Delhi violence continues, India today feels a more integrated nation. It even has a Sikh Congress Party Prime Minister. That evening, Sikhs and Hindus come together in a strong show of unity.
Pretty painful journey for me so far, but what's fantastic about this moment is that it's the festival of Diwali, which is the festival of light, celebrating the victory of good over evil, light over dark.
All across Delhi, people were celebrating with the usual Indian disregard for health and safety.
How much money have you spent on the fireworks?
Few thousand rupees.
Yeah?
10,000 rupees.
This was the first party I came across, and to say that after 2 days of reflecting on mob violence it came as a relief would be an understatement.
Who's going to share this with me?
2 families, one Hindu, one Sikh, enjoying the same festival. Politics and religion irrelevant. This is just one street. I don't want to read too much significance into it, but it's hard not to be moved by such a scene. I've returned home to Britain to explore the importance of 84 to Sikhs here and to make some decisions of my own. In Britain, Sikhs watched helplessly as events unfolded in India. They demonstrated in their thousands and welcomed family members who fled the violence. Jarnail Singh is one of the leaders of the British Sikh community.
We protested, we wrote letters, we placed adverts in the daily newspapers. We did everything we could. It was reacting to the outrage that Sikhs wanted to demonstrate to the world. We are a minority. Please look at what's happening to our community. People came from all over the country, placards criticizing the Indian government and drawing attention to the wider world about what was happening. It was a very emotional affair.
Over the course of time, what happened to that anger? Has it calmed down? Has it got stronger?
Oh, none of us can be angry for too long. We do calm down, but sometimes the hurt remains. And in India, in this country, the hurt remained.
But Inderjeet believes that despite the hurt, British Sikhs have moved on and discovered a renewed interest in their faith.
Well, the events of 1984 made Sikhs examine their own religion. What is it? Why are we under attack? What are our teachings? You look again more closely at your religion at times like that. And when in looking closer and looking at the world around you, you realize that Sikh values, Sikh teachings have something very positive to offer. Emphasis on human rights and equality of all people, tolerance, real tolerance, respect for other religions. These things are very important in giving a sense of direction to life. So, in a sense, that is something positive that came out of the trauma of 1984.
As I near the end of my journey, my head is in a whirl. My questions are now more personal than political. Learning about 1984 has affected me deeply. But what should I do now? Should I be making changes to my life? I'm heading north to meet a young woman who I hope can give me some clarity. 1984 has played a huge part in Ravinder Kaur's life. I find her at the Gatka martial arts class in Doncaster that she runs with her husband.
This is Gatka in full swing.
They wanted to take the anger they felt at the events of 25 years ago and channel it into something positive.
Gatka is, as much as it is martial, is very spiritual as well.
We come from such a rich history, it's criminal to almost leave it behind. Bless us with the ability to be able to carry on this martial art. Bless us with the
Leading this class is just part of a dramatic change in Ravinda that started when she read an account of the assault on the Golden Temple.
I remember coming downstairs, looking at my dad and just falling and crying. And he said, you know, what's wrong? And I said, I cannot believe that something of this magnitude has happened with us. And I'm, you know, here I am, completely lost. I don't have a clue as to who I am.
So before you were baptised in 2005, was your hair short? What was it like?
My hair wasn't short, but it was curly. You know, I didn't have a turban. I didn't, you know, I didn't dress the way that I do.
Did you look more like me?
Absolutely.
And are you more content now?
Prior to 2005, I'd walk with my hunched shoulders, you know, down the street. And I was almost, to be honest, I was just another brown face in the crowd. To me, that's what I was. Now I walk with a presence, and that presence is only there, I can say, absolutely, most definitely, it's only there because of my turban.
I admire Ravinda Kaur for the changes she's made, especially her decision to wear a turban. And I keep thinking of all the people I was told about who were attacked or killed because they wore a turban. I've realised for the first time quite how important it is for a Sikh to be identified as a Sikh. And that's made me question how I look and practice my faith. If I'm honest, I'm a Sikh who's bending the rules to suit herself. I'm avoiding the tougher decisions. And even though I feel guilty, becoming baptised would be a huge challenge. Never being able to cut my hair would be very difficult for me to follow, especially as a woman living in the West doing the job that I do. I don't know whether I will ever get to that point. Who knows? At the moment, I'm still travelling on that path. Not quite there yet. But I've experienced something I never thought would happen. For the first time, I actually feel connected to my full Sikh name. After going on this journey, that's the one significant change that I have really felt. I'm so proud of the name that I was given by birth, my proper full Sikh name, and the frustrating part of this is that I can't go back to being Jaswinder Kaur Sidhu. I have to be Sonia Diol, because that's how everybody knows me. But if I could, I would right now change it to Jaswinder Kaur Sidhu, which just makes me feel brilliant inside. As for the events of 1984, the attack on the Golden Temple should never have happened. It was ill thought out, and the repercussions were devastating. I used to think 84 was all about politics. Now I think it's about innocent people and the high price they've had to pay. I can never again visit India without feeling the grief and sadness of those I met. It'll always be a beautiful and sacred place, but the bloodstains on the marble have told me a different story, which will be impossible to forget.
You can join Sonia Diol on the BBC Asian Network for discussion, music and interviews, Friday afternoons from 1.